Okay. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever it is that you are tuning in from. I'm hoping that I am nice and clear today, being a lovely Tuesday here in Nairobi, Kenya. Today, it's a great day for me because it is a new month and I have a guest with me, and we're going to be talking about sustaining our purpose. So, charting your own path is as easy or as hard as you intend it to be, guys. It's as easy or as hard as you intend it to be. You know, the control is in your hands. Many a times we look for validation and we think that if somebody tells us to do something, or like the way you've tuned in today, you're tuning in for Tuesday Talks at 3, and you're waiting for Lucy to say something so that you can be able to continue with your life. Well, here's a spoiler alert. Lucy is a life coach. So what Lucy does is she gives you the tools to be able to unearth it from within you so that you can actually find the answers that reside within you. So charting your own path is as easy or as hard as you intend it to be. You've got it in your hands. You just need to know which buttons to press. And therefore, you need mentors, you need coaches, you need to be able to just take a step back and look at your life. Last month, we shared various ways of intentional living, and I'm sure you joined us and you saw the amazing things that were contributed during this time. Well, this July, as I said, it is taking that intentional living, which is your purpose, and sustaining it. So what is your purpose? What is your purpose? What is that vision? And I know you're going to say, oh, it's overrated. Is it a goal? Is it a mission? Is it whatever it is? What is it that you have intentionally set your mind to? Call it whatever you want to call it. Like we say in English, a rose by any other name is a rose. You know, so let's not stick on to the nitty gritties and try to split the hairs. What is your game plan, guys? Or do you need help identifying it? Because at times we watch others go about their lives and we think, wow, they've got it all together. You know, I have no inkling, I have no gift, I have no motivation, aspiration to do this. Well, you definitely are in need for that help to identify it. And we are running a free masterclass. As LMC Consultancy, we are running a free masterclass. It's 3 days. It's called Unearthing the Creator in You, because there is that creator in you. You've got it in there, guys. We just help you to bring it out, life coach style. The dates are the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of July. And the time is very friendly. It's in the evening, East African time, 6 o'clock to 7:30 p.m. You will be home at that time, or maybe you're sitting in traffic, driving at that time. You can be able to listen in. Well, registration is going on. So it's been 6 months. We want to check in and see how we are doing. Very important. You set out a plan beginning of the year. This is the average human being setting out a plan beginning of the year. So what core values are you applying to your actions? Because when you set out a plan, it's a plan. It can collect dust. Guys, what are you applying to this plan so that we can be able to have it become a reality? Like I say in many of my sessions, you create this plan and you put it up on a shelf and it's collecting dust. It is time to pick it, dust it off. It's the 6th month of the year. Are you living that particular purpose and your actions by applying your core values? Is it determination that you need, consistency? Is it innovation, creativity? Is it discipline? What is it that you need? Whatever it is, these lovely words are called core values. So these core values at times can be somebody else's core values. They could be somebody else's core values. Would you like to identify your core values? We run a core values masterclass. This is a paid one. And here we help you identify, not select. There's a very big difference here. You identify them. We take you through tools, stages, steps that help you identify these core values. Because in everything that you do, you need to be applying this core values. So just look out for details of our quarterly core values masterclass on our social media platforms. Welcome to Tuesday Talks at 3. This is a platform for women to help one another in our daily journey as we go through the sphere of life. My name is Lucy Macridis, and I'm the founder of LMC Consultancy and an expert in helping women get unstuck and onto their true full potential through unlocking their limiting beliefs. I am a clarity coach, I'm a mentor, I'm an online facilitator, and I want to thank you so much for being with us on this broadcast. Today, we seek to see the role grit plays in success, because our theme this month is about, sustaining our purpose. So if we're sustaining our purpose, we must be looking at the end game so that we can continue doing what we are doing today for that end game. Remember, whatever is happening today is happening today. That vision, that purpose, that goal has got to be bigger than what is happening today. Well, our guest is Lillian Gala, and I'll be bringing her on very shortly. She is a human resource professional with considerable contribution in policy formation. She currently sits on several boards. She sits on several boards. Can you imagine the kind of mindset here that she is able to apply every day to her purpose? She values integrity. Here are the words I'm talking about. Core values. Lillian Gala values integrity, collaboration, communication, and fairness. So I'm asking you, what do you value? Because these are the things that describe you. If we were to strip Lillian of her HRM, of her board jobs, she's even a founder of the Lillian Gala Foundation for Widows. If we were to strip Lillian of all these things, what would be left? What individual would be left? I'm asking you this question because these are the values. For me, I know for a fact that when you strip a human being of all titles and material things that they have, you are left to the person of value, the person that they really are. If you prick them at 3 a.m. in the morning, what do they burst out as? Well, for Lillian here, we can see it's integrity, that's honesty, it's collaboration. She loves to work with people. Communication, she doesn't keep it to herself. She likes everybody to be on the same boat and understanding one another. I'm sure she applies EQ on all this. And fairness, what a lovely value that is. And fairness. Well, Lillian hopes that her journey of leadership will inspire girls and young women to show up and follow their dreams and passion. How beautiful is that? And as I am trying to bring Lillian onto the screen, as I try to bring her, I just want to say, Karibu sana, Lillian, and I'm just there. I'm just removing that. And now we have got Lillian on the screen. Beautiful. There is Lillian, guys. Karibu sana, Lillian.
Thank you. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you for that elaborate introduction. I appreciate. I'm not able to see you. Okay, I can see you now. Excellent.
You can see me now. I'm right here. Thank you. I just want to check that we really are live, so that we know we are not talking to ourselves. Let me see, just a minute. And it is picking, and it is picking, and I'm the one now who's not seeing anything. I'm the one who's not seeing anything. Let's see. Yes, there we are, and we are live.
Thank you.
Let's see. Fantastic. Kavi, we already have somebody who's joined us. Kavi, karibu sana. Good to see you. Today is the first Tuesday of the month, Lillian. And as we have discussed before, we are here to talk about sustaining our purpose. And I want to thank you so much for taking time to be with us. And the topic that you have chosen to take us through today is about, the role grit plays in success. And I just love us to start from that point of grit. In your opinion, Lillian, what is grit? Let's just have an understanding of it before we go deeper into anything.
Thank you, Lucy, and thank you, participants, for joining us. We really appreciate for. Lucy, grit is a combination of 3 things. To me, one is passion, perseverance, and determination. You could see, but if you're lacking perseverance and you're lacking that determination, then you do not have grit. So grit is a combination of these 3 things together. Passionate, then you're determined, and you persevere for the good of that cause, good of that vision that you're having. So you must be having these three together, succeed in life.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so there we have it. So we're looking at a combination of passion, perseverance, and determination. And you're saying that the lack of it, that means then we do not have the grit. But then what is the connection then to the success? Because if we are saying that we need passion, perseverance, and the determination, Lillian, there's some people who are just lucky. I mean, I look around and I have people saying, but you are lucky, so-and-so is lucky. They come from a background of education. They come from a background of money. They come from a background of network. They are lucky. So I don't see you putting luck in this combination for grit.
I think, Lucy, actually, I don't believe in luck, one. And why I don't believe in luck, because luck will never meet you if you're not ready, if you're not prepared. So to me, how I define luck is more of an opportunity that is matches someone who is ready. So for you to be ready, it means that you are always prepared. You're always there working onto something. By the time there's that luck that we all believe it's luck, there is an opportunity that comes into place because I am ready for it. So I'm looking at somebody who is always eager, angry for knowledge, angry to learn, angry for growth. You must be having that, the mindset, the growth mindset. If you do not have the growth mindset, then that luck will never be luck. I don't believe in luck, Lucy.
Wow, that's powerful. So for you, it's about preparation, getting ready, and when that opportunity appears or presents itself, this is now the fusing of these two. That could be the definition of luck, where somebody is seeing that you are lucky. Actually, Lillian, the kind of work that you have put in the back end, just set you up so ready that when the opportunity happened, you went for it. Because what I'm understanding is, if you don't go for that opportunity, somebody else who is right behind you will grab that opportunity. Then you will start saying, there are people who are lucky. There are people who are lucky. Well, thank you so much for that. Tell us a little bit about the growth mindset, because you touched on that, and I am taking notes as I take down with my pen. Just a little bit on the growth mindset, because we are still talking about grit, and as we are defining it, what has the growth mindset got to do with grit?
You see, the growth mindset is required in grit, because the growth mindset actually gives you an ability to believe that tomorrow is, and you're not just focusing on what you have at the moment. So you don't have this mind of complacency. You don't have this mind of arrival. I don't know if we are together. You are always angry for more. You're always eager for more. And that's why you see some people, they really, there's that bit of today somebody is just at this level, the following day they escalate. There's that quick and fast move. And why they're doing that is because they have that growth mindset. They're not just fixed. They don't have this fixed mindset of just saying, I've arrived. In Kenya, I think we talk of nimefika. So that nimefika is what we need to address. Whereby you're always angry for more, so I think, okay, then you're not content. I think it's got nothing to do with content. It's just being ability of just seeing yourself as you have. You're made of greatness. You can be greater than, the greatness starts with you. It's from within. And therefore you're always just angry for growth.
Very interesting that you say that, because I would like us to discuss it towards the end of our show about limiting beliefs, because I could be hungry for something, Lillian. I could be so hungry for it, but every time I step out and I want to go for it, there's something that holds me back. But let's just hold that thought for when we are almost coming to the end, so that we can look at what it is that could be our challenges that we are facing, that could be an obstacle to success. But for now, let us talk about vision, purpose, goal, whatever it is, and how the role of grit plays in this success. I want to believe that there must be a vision or a purpose. As you heard my introduction, some people might say it's overplayed. Tell us why vision is key.
You see, vision is very key. And why it is, if you look at, even for you to have that grit, you must have a vision. What are you becoming gritty about? So you can only be gritty if you have a purpose, if you have a vision, if there's something, there's a goal that you are working towards, then you develop that grittiness in you. So you cannot be gritty without a vision. And to me, vision comes in very handy. What am I working towards? What is my next life, my next phase of life? What is my that kind of, so there's always something that I'm working towards. So if it's a particular phase of life that I'm, or maybe you want to, you visualize it, you imagine the life that you want, whatever you want, maybe business, it could be career-wise, whatever it is, it could be a foundation that you're coming up with. So it's upon you to draw the vision. And once you have the vision, you have the clarity of purpose, like, great job, by the way, welcome. Sorry, all the best and well done for that. A superb job, Lucy. I think the fact that you're able to unlock that clarity for us, then a few of us might get unstuck. We're able to pursue the goals. Lucy, back to your point or back to your question, the vision is very key for you to be gritty. You can't be gritty without the vision.
But then how do I know what my vision is, Many a time, there's so many things going on in somebody's head, and let me just put it into perspective. I am a woman in my late 30s, and I can see 40 is knocking. And I am feeling that perhaps I need to be doing more than I'm actually doing. 40 is knocking, because it's that proverbial question. And ladies, for those of you who are below 40, this does not matter, because I'm on the 5th floor. And that question I asked myself when I turned 40 was really not a clever question, because I asked, what have I done? What do I have to account for? Anyway, I am digressing. For those of us who are approaching the age of 40, there's that question that we are already asking: what boxes can I tick? And therefore, I feel like I can only tick one box, that a purpose can only be one purpose. And you know what I do, Lillian, and this is again for the ladies out there. In my life coaching sessions, I ask my participants to map out 8 areas of life that they believe are important in their life, this journey of life. What 8 areas? For instance, is it family? Is it relationship? Is it finance? Is it career? Is it education? Is it spiritual? Is it health? Oh, there are so many. And I encourage the ladies to just list them down. Now, when you list them down, Lillian, I then do a gut check and I say, right now, if we're talking family, out of 10, score yourself. So somebody will say, I'm doing so well on family. I'm doing 7 out of 10. Fantastic. What does a 7 out of 10 mean? I don't know. I'm just doing well. Write it down. Think about it. Take a moment and write down what 7 out of 10 means for you. And realize that as you're putting it down, this is from your perspective. Because somebody else in that same family may have a totally different outlook. Perspective is something that is so powerful. What I think and what you think about the same thing, and here we're talking about success today, is 2 totally different things. So back to this vision that now we are creating. When this individual puts down their perspective, I then start asking them the next question. Now that you know where you're at, where do you want to be? I want to be a 10 out of 10. Okay, that's very ambitious. What does a 10 out of 10 mean for you? Write it down. Now, as we say in Kiswahili, kizungumkuti, that is where it starts now. Because you start to imagine, okay, 7 out of 10, 10 out of 10, what does it mean? But this exercise is so beautiful. It's so heartwarming. Because now the individual begins to put down what they have in their head that is so much, and it begins to come down. That's what I was saying. So going into the age of 40, there's so many things that are going through your head, things that you want to achieve, that you feel you're overwhelmed. Lillian, you feel you're overwhelmed. So if vision is key, how then would you advise an individual out there? Because I loved the fact that Lillian is out there hoping that her leadership will be able to impact and inspire young women. So how would you inspire these women now? They've got all these things in their head. What do they, zone into? How do they do that? So they have a vision, so that it can be key, so that they can have clarity, so they can have action to it. How do we go about this? What would you advise, Lillian?
Lucy, that's an interesting question, but I think what works for me, or what I've seen work for people, is that vision for you. You just need to know what you're interested in. What are you passionate about? And then once you've identified that particular aspect, whatever it is that makes you tick, then you need to just believe in yourself. Believe that you have what it takes. let these, to me, I think it's just, most of the time is our minds, or is the mind that controls us. We think that we are not good enough. You know, they normally say the enemy sits between the two ears. I don't know if you know the meaning of that.
It's in your mind.
Exactly.
It's in your mind. You know, the way you were talking about the growth mindset, it's all in between your ears. I hear you.
In between the ears. So I believe in just saying, or rather what I can emphasize on is identify what you're passionate about. But first, before you do that, you must have a clarity of what you want. How is your next phase of life? I think Lucy has already emphasized on this. I don't want to emphasize on it further. But the moment you know, this is what I want, these are clear goals that I have, then you believe in yourself. It's as simple as just knowing that I need to get out there, no matter whatever I have on your hands. Maybe it could be something. Most of the time we think of, oh, I need this capital, I need these millions for me to start this business. I need to first make sure that my kids are all grown up and all that. Then I'll be able to achieve my goals. I think we put so much expectation to an extent we cannot move. So in the process, then we are stuck. We will never make it. By the time you realize you're already over and above, you are done. You are ready for retirement. You've not achieved what you want. So in a nutshell, believe in ourselves. Perfection is the enemy of the progress. Just get out there and do your thing. The rest will just flow. You just have to believe in yourself. Just start with the little that you have in your small way. The rest will just flow.
You know, there's something that I spoke of last week, and procrastination and patterns. The patterns that we have. At times we say procrastination is a big thing. No, procrastination is then, it's just that the effect. It's what happens as a result of this pattern in your life. Now, my pattern, and you've just talked about perfection being the enemy of progress. I am that kind of individual that I need to dot my I's and cross my T's and have all the ducks in one row before I take the first step. Now, this was me. This is how I existed. This was the only way I knew how to be sure, in that I felt an imposter syndrome if I just stepped out and did something without applying some careful consideration to it. As a result, Lillian, there are so many things that remained on the shelf. And today I'm a life coach to be able to use my personal experiences to help women get unstuck, because that is one thing that was keeping me stuck. I had this great idea, this beautiful dream, and I put it on the shelf. And every day I would look at it and tell myself, one day when I grow up, one day when I grow up. And what was happening? All the ducks were not in a row. So I was creating these ducks, this situation, come and put it on the table. On the shelf. And I was lining my ducks. But as I was lining my ducks, Lillian, there are other people who started where they were. There were other people who trusted themselves. And like you were saying, now got into the process once they started. And then I look back and I'm thinking, but I know how to do that. But I already know how to speak to that. But I'm already that individual. How come Lillian is seeming to be ahead of me? How come she's doing what I already know to be true in my mind? Well, you see what? Lillian trusted herself. Lillian trusted and went ahead and started. Lucy, on the other hand, waited for the perfection, because that for me is my pattern. So for me, I am work in progress. So every time I want to step out of my comfort zone and start something new, I now have a different mindset, a different narrative to self, where I'm saying, go for it, Lucy, and grow with the process. I call it snowballing. Snowball with the process. It's going to pick up. You're going to learn. It's not going to be successful. Neither is it going to be hopeless. I will learn as I go ahead. So I love that thing of trust. Sorry, I was digressing a little bit. So you also talked about where somebody can start. You're asking, how do I start? So guys, whoever is listening, I can see Sarah Goldberg is here. Welcome, Sarah. Good to see you. I want us to engage and just engage with us here in the chat. How do you start? Where do you start? What is your idea? And I was sharing with Lillian yesterday that I posted something on LinkedIn asking people, how do you start a business? Where would you start from? And Lillian, I told you that I put down vision. And one lady came back and said, I wouldn't have started that vision. Well, I'm interested to know now from our guests here who are watching us live, what would you do? Engage with us here on the chat and we will be able to sample. But back to our topic about vision is key. Vision is key. Lillian, some of us choke from being overwhelmed. Some of us do choke from being overwhelmed. But I like the fact that you're saying, why don't you start with the point of what are you passionate at, or what are you passionate for or with? And you remind me of the Japanese concept called ikigai, where there are 4 quadrants that encourage you to identify what you love, basically what you're passionate at. What is it that you can get paid for? What you're good at? Yeah, those 4 quadrants. And that is a very good place to start. It sounds like as if it's so easy. Yeah? It really does sound like it's easy. But when you get down to it, the person that you're going to discover of self is amazing. Is amazing. Well, that is vision is key for you guys. And it's important that Lillian took us through that. And I just love it. Well, let's talk about resilience and optimism. Resilience and optimism. And the words that you came across in the beginning, a combination of passion, perseverance, and determination. For me, that just spells resilience. For you to be resilient, Lillian, and to be optimistic, these things come into play and they play a very vital role. Please tell us how.
Lucy, I believe, I think I'll just take you back to where we started that. For one to be gritty, they need to be resilient and optimistic. And resilience here means that you are able to walk with your head high, irrespective of the challenges, the obstacles, because you know that tomorrow will be a better day. You are able to just keep going, keep moving, and that comes back to the issue of being determined, being you're able to persevere. So you cannot persevere, Lucy, if you're not resilient. If you do not, if you're not tenacious. If I'm resilient, then I'm able to keep going. And that brings in my perseverance bit of it, because I know that plan A didn't work, but it will work. And if it doesn't work, I'll still keep my head high and continue. So I think resilience is very, very important in building your grit. For you to be gritty, you must develop that resilience part of it, because I've seen many people, the moment the challenges come in or the obstacles, you're quick to give up. The ones who did give up, Lucy, you give them 2-3 years, they're already ahead of you. I think you've given as a good example whereby somebody has started a project and you're like, I thought I would have done better than them, but they're already there. It's 3 years down the line, you gave up a process. So resilience is very, very, ladies, let us be resilient, let us be tenacious, let us keep pushing, irrespective of any obstacles. Ladies, obstacles, challenges are part of the process. They are part and parcel of the process. Never give up. Just know that in the process, I will have the challenges, I'll face the obstacles, and I'll still keep moving. And that's how I run my foundation, my work, my career, everything, just generally. I know that I'm getting into this. Challenges will come, obstacles will come. It's part of the process. The moment of that mindset, ladies, then you become even grittier, because you tend onto everything, irrespective of the outcome. It's not about the outcome. It's not about it's not about the process. But we need to appreciate that process. The process will never be so smooth, and the obstacles, challenges are part and parcel of the process. It as failures. There's nothing as failing, ladies. We don't fail. We just learn from the process and keep.
We learn.
Lucy, maybe I can just touch on optimism before you come
in.
Optimism.
Sure.
Very passionate about optimism.
Yes.
Why I'm passionate about optimism is because optimism is normally mistaken for positivity. It's not. These are two different things. Positivity is about just believing that everything is just good. Everything is just, even when things are bad, we just believe. Optimism is that appreciating that, yes, this thing is not good, the plan did not work, however, it will still work. So it's better to be optimistic than being positive, because positivity most of the time, you can be easily be swept away out of the emotions. People who are optimistic, they are very, look at them as, and I find myself as that, you're able to bounce off very quickly. you don't allow any negativity to get into you. But positivity will bring an aspect of, if it doesn't work this way, it's my way or no way. That when I'm optimistic, I know that today it didn't work, Lucy. I didn't get the outcome that I was looking at, but I know tomorrow will be a better day. Plan A did work. I can tweak it a bit for plan B to work, but I'm still Lillian. I'm not going to lose my identity. That is now being optimistic that tomorrow will be a better day, Lucy. Today, I might not have done my, but I know tomorrow will be a good day. I think especially for us ladies with the imposter syndrome, we suffer from that. We suffer from, oh, will I deliver this, Lucy? Will Lucy judge me this and that? If my business, will it flourish? My foundation, will it pick up? So those kind of optimistic, you flip by just saying, you know what? At the beginning might not be so good, but tomorrow will be okay. So you're able to just flip this situation, ladies.
Being able to flip any situation. I love that, Lillian. And you know, you're dropping these nuggets and my pen is not moving fast enough. I'm just hoping I could have an auto record somewhere that I could just have total recall right now and go through it. I love what Kavi is saying. She's saying resilience is hope. She said resilience is hope. You've said optimism is not positivity. And I love these words that are coming here. And all these are values, guys. And you know, values are important. Like I said, if we strip Lillian of everything, who is a person who remains? And for those of you who've been on my trainings, I give you the unfortunate example of if today you found yourself in a refugee camp. Therefore, you're away from home and you're finding yourself in a refugee camp in a country where people do not have the same culture as you. They don't have the same kind of food as you. So you've been taken out of your, how do I say, your reboot, your DNA situation. You are in a totally new area. So you don't, even your education at this point is not going to come. The money in your family is not going to come. Your networks are not going to come and help you. It is you, Lucy, alone in that refugee camp. Who is going to be present there? Which Lucy is going to be present? And the Lucy who's going to be present is the one of the values. Because in a refugee camp, then we all get given duties, positions, things to do. And very soon people will start relating to you. Let's take now Lillian as an example. Now they will relate to her, you know, the lady who's very fair. You know, the one who is fair. Why would they say that about Lillian? Listen to the values she talked about in the beginning. Fairness. So you will be related to according to the kind of values that you hold dear. If you are somebody who is compassionate, when something happens in the camp, maybe there's a loss of life, somebody is ill or somebody has been molested, you're the one they're coming to look for. And very soon you will become the counselor of the camp. If you're somebody who doesn't give up, yeah, it's true. If you're somebody who doesn't give up, you're that person who's an innovator, a creator. Every time there's something that is presented to you, looking for a solution, people will come to you. So guys, values are very important. You better know what your core values are, so that tomorrow, when you are carrying out this vision that we are saying is key, you are able to align it to your values so it's true to you. And a wake-up call. If the value is true to you, it's because you've identified it. At times, we live the lives of very predominant people in our lives. For instance, our parents wanted us to be studious, to work hard. I always give that example, to work hard. But perhaps working hard is not yours. Yours is working smart. Yours is working smart. But all this time, you have been waking up every day, 5 a.m. to make sure you're in that traffic, and then you go to the office and you work your bone dry. You leave the office at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night because you're working hard. This is what your parents, put into your head, when actually you could be working smart. So whose value are you living? Are you living your parents' value? Are you living your value? Are you living your teacher's value? Are you living your value? Whose value are you living? If you are somebody who's spiritual, maybe it is your spiritual leader who has a value and they have tried to tell you about it. Now you're living their value. I'm telling you, you will never be true to it. You will always betray self. So yes, like I said, we are running a master class, which is a paid one. It's called Your Core Values. It's every quarter, so just look out on our social media platforms. So I'm loving what we are talking about when we come to resilience and optimism. And I want to believe that these are learnable traits, Lillian.
Yes, Lucy, we can all learn these traits, especially the resilience bit of it, optimism. It's just by being intentional, ladies. You just need to get intentional, whereby you're saying, I'm gonna be resilient. I'm going to keep pushing through, and you cannot push through if you've not, if you're not passionate about it, if you're not deliberate about it. Lucy, yes to your answer. They're all they're traits. Traits are learnable. You can learn
Traits
them.
are very learnable. Well, that is good news for us because, like I say, and now you've pointed out very well, women, we get overwhelmed. We are multitaskers. We are nurturers. I know people say that men are the fix-its, but let me tell you, the person with a PhD of fixing it is a woman, because she's compassionate by nature and a nurturer, and she wants to be able to go in and help people all the time. It depends on different kind of degrees, but still a woman wants to go in and help and to improve people. So I love that fact, and I really love the way it is just rolling off. So are you at your maximum potential? Because there are times that we do have this gift within us. Like I have said, I am running an earth, the creator in you. You've got the answers within you, but you've never tapped into it. You have never tapped into it. So are you aware of your potential is a question. So how do I build that grit in me for the way forward? Because Lillian, it's already mid-mark of the year. I've already set my resolutions in January. There are those of us who are doing very well and we can actually transcend to another level. And there are those of us who gave up along the way, but all is not lost. How can I build my grit along the way? Where do I start with building grit?
Good question, Lucy. And actually, I was expecting you to ask me that question, because at the end of the day, that's why we are here today, just to learn from one another.
Yes.
Ladies, you need to get clarity. I don't know if you can read that.
Yes, get clarity. Fantastic.
Very, very important. And clarity, the moment you have clarity, then you are able to have a vision, because you have that vision. You know what you want. That is part of getting that clarity. So first is just get that clarity. Once that has been defined, you know what your vision is, takes, what you want to become, what you want for your next phase of life. And Lucy, by the way, it's never too late to start over. I think you've talked of January, when July, it's never too late, ladies. To me, my January could be starting today, because the clarity that I'm getting, the vision I'm getting, I can start it today. Ladies, get the clarity, identify that vision, identify your next phase of life, what you want to become. You have what it takes, but first is getting that clarity, number one. Secondly, Lucy, I think I'll look at the hard rule. I don't know if you can see this, the hard rule.
The hard thing rule.
I'll just explain what the hard rule is all about. So the hard rule is, one is, you need to identify what are those hard things that you hate doing, that you don't like doing, because that's the only way you can develop grit. We said you cannot develop grit if you do not have clarity. You cannot develop grit if you do not have a vision, because then why are you becoming gritty? So for all these gritty people that we know about, those people are just tenacious, they're just resilient and optimistic. They keep going, they persevere. Those people always have something we call, they also, I think I mixed up. They also work on the hard thing. The hard thing rule is whereby you do what is the most hardest. We tend to keep the hardest cause, the hardest tasks, we keep not hiding, but we keep solving them. We keep saying tomorrow I'll work on them tomorrow. I'll give my own example. Last week I was supposed to send SMSs to a number of people. I don't want to say how many, because there are quite many. You'll even be surprised I did it. Apparently, I was to get a system whereby these numbers were going to be input, and then the SMSs will roll out to the third parties. This system I could not obtain it immediately. It's a whole process for me to get the platform. Another 2 weeks. So I had a choice of saying, this is too much work, very hard work for me to do it. I will never do it. Lucy, I have to get it done. So what I'm saying is, choose that hard thing that you fear doing. Is it public speaking? Is it that business? What is it that you know that is so hard for you to do? Dive on it. Just dive in, flow with it. It will work. Do that, the most difficult thing, that hard thing that you think hard, Lucy, you can do it, ladies. The moment you get the hard rule into your mind by just saying, I'll start with the most difficult thing, it will go away. That's what I did. With the SMSs, it was the most difficult part, because having all those numbers, 500 numbers, one by one on the phone and sending the SMS is not easy. But I said, I'm going to sleep late. I'm going to sleep past midnight for me to ensure that the messages are out there.
And while you're on that thought, congratulations, ladies. When you do something like that and you achieve, you need to take a moment to congratulate yourself, because you're your number one fan. Nobody is going to come to you, Lillian, at midnight and say, well done, you have reached 250 people. No, you are your biggest fan, and you must be the person who cheers yourself on, because we look for validation. And in this validation, because we don't get it, we give up. Or we start thinking, I'm not good enough. It's never going to work. I just wanted to share with you my story right there, Lillian, if I could digress, and we'll come back to number 3 shortly. A story that I always share is when I started out, because I was used to doing face-to-face, showing up to do what I do. It was in person. Then came virtual. Today, I'm telling you, a year and a half later, I'm on a screen like this. This would never have happened. This was my hard thing. This right here, what I'm doing, was my hard thing. And look at the success. Yeah, and look now, every week for 1 hour, I am doing this. This is the one that is recorded. The other ones are me taking people through life coaching, taking people through training, taking people through discovery calls. It's all happening on the screen. Now, I said to myself that I couldn't do this. And therefore, I put in perseverance and determination, and I overcame it with action. Now, Lillian's action was that she sat there, she knew it was going to take her 2 weeks, but she needed to do it now. She put the action into her daily life, and she started where she was. She started where she was, and look where she is now. She's done it. And I'm sure she will still get her up for later on, but she's done it. She knows she can do it. I am here before you now with a guest, Lillian, bringing to you a product that you can consume and understand and relate to. I would never have been here if I had not faced my hard thing. If I had said, that is not for me. I just wanted to share that one, Lillian, because I think ladies need to know that you're not alone.
Thank you.
Everybody goes through this hard thing. Okay, so number 3.
Lucy, before we go to number 3, can the ladies just share with us, the participants, what has been their hard thing? What is that hard thing that you really fear doing? You feel like it's just overwhelming. Even the thought alone is overwhelming. What is that hard thing? Maybe you can just type, then you can engage as we move along, Lucy.
Yeah, so engage with us here on the chat. Engage with us and tell us, what is your hard thing? What is it? And do you have a success story for it? Is it work in progress?
Good. Yeah. As we move along, Lucy, I think I'll go to my number 3, which is enthusiasm. You need to be intentional about enthusiasm. Without enthusiasm, Lucy, you will never be gritty. You can only be gritty, you can only have that grit if you're enthusiastic about that passion, about goal, about that vision. Ladies, we just need to prime enthusiasm, because if it's important, then you'll become enthusiastic about it. How important is it? That question you need to ask yourself. If it's that important, like for me, my projects, they're quite important to me. Therefore, there's no excuse. I just have to be enthusiastic about it. I need to face the second aspect of the hard thing rule. I need to have the get clarity, whereby I know the clarity, I know the vision that I'm chasing, and that's it. So number 4, ladies, how to build the grit, how you become gritty. By the way, I'll just say one thing. To some of us, grittiness comes natural, but we need to nurture it, we need to cultivate it. To some of us, we might not have grittiness at all. You are not born to be gritty. You are someone who will just give up. In every slight conversation, you're like, oh, I give up. You know those conversations? They're always fitting in, I give up, I give up.
Yeah,
so
I know them.
And train to be gritty. We can be intentional. Another one is block time. Have block. And block your time by just saying, this is the vision, this is what I'm pursuing, and therefore I need to block time for this particular thing. If it's that important, if that project is that important to you, if your goal is that important to you, you will block time for it. You will not get distracted. Most of the time, the distractions, I think a very good distraction is this one. From Facebook to, I don't know, LinkedIn to everything. We get so swamped to media has taken us into another level. So the moment you block time for that particular project that you have, your dream, your goal, whatever you want to call it, your vision, trust me, you will block time for it. You will never be so distracted to an extent of saying, I don't have this time for this. And that builds in your grit, because you're able to say, this is time every morning between 8 to 11, I'm working on this project of mine. And there are no distractions, no phone calls, no anything. Block time, ladies. I just block time, like for that example that I was giving you, the SMSs, I just blocked my time. I said from this time up to midnight, I'm gonna sleep late, yes, but no phone calls, no anything. I'm just gonna attend to this. And ladies, another thing, whatever gets measured, gets improved. Let's continue measuring even what you're doing. So block the time and continue doing what you're doing. So block your time for that particular project, whatever your goal. At the end of the day, you'll achieve what you want to achieve. And finally, Lucy, ladies, the final aspect of building your grit, enlist a team. Enlist a team, meaning enroll, have a support system. Because you need a support system, and this is the team that I'm talking about. A support system is whereby you have a team of coaches, a team of friends who have the same vision as you, as family members. You need to get out there, let people know your passion, let people know what you're pursuing. Have mentors. Do this thing alone. Look for mentors, coaches like Lucy. Look for the team. There's several members of, just support system as a whole. Because at the end of the day, ladies, you can't do it alone. You need somebody who knows what you're good at, and they're able to have the same interest, your interest at heart. They're able to keep, patting you on your shoulders. Ladies, I think to me, Lucy, back to you, I'll just say that if we have those 5 elements, the 5 components, then you're able to develop our grit, you're able to cultivate our grit. And even for most of us who maybe were not born gritty, maybe our DNA is not that grittiness, we can still be able to. It's never too late to learn. It's never too late to just cultivate any trait that is admirable. Grit is the answer to success. Grit plays a very big role in success. You might be having the talent, you might be having the skill sets, you might be having every trait that you can admire, but without the grit, ladies, you can't do much.
Yeah, and in fact, when you started off, that's what you were talking about. If you don't have a combination of all those things, then it amounts to nothing. I love these 4 areas. I'll just recap. Good to see you here, Rosemary Odima. Good to see you. And now we are asking, what ideas of grit do you know of? Or even better still, what is that hard thing that you're dealing with? Or if not, what are your core values? So just engage with us and let us be able to sample some of your engagements. And right now, Lillian, our guest here, is taking us through the question, how can I build grit? It's the 6th month of the year. I had a resolution, and we are sustaining our purpose. Whatever that resolution was my purpose. Am I sustaining it? Where am I today? Have I taken a gut check? Am I moving on? Do I need an injection in my arm to even move better? Have I been holding myself? And this is where I want us to bring in the limiting beliefs in a short while here, Lillian. Am I wanting to do things and I'm being blocked? Am I choking out of being overwhelmed? And you mentioned clarity as the one thing. Because when you have clarity, it's that 2020 vision. You're able to know where it is that you're going, and you have this foresight of where you're going, and you are moving. And the optimism comes into play, Lillian, and correct me if I'm wrong, because as I have this clarity and I'm moving like that engine that is pulling all these trained coaches behind me, and then there are tracks ahead of me that have broken, or there's a flooded river ahead of me. These things should be welcome in my life, because these challenges and obstacles, this is a normal part of life. In fact, it makes me stronger. Do not turn away from the challenges and the obstructions and the things that are blocking you by saying, I can't, I won't, it's not the right time. Go for it. You'll be surprised. It is what is standing between you and that success. And that is what Lillian is talking about, grit. So get clarity. And Lillian, stop me if I'm getting off track. Yeah. So there's get clarity. That was my understanding. Then the hard thing rule, I must say that was my favorite one. The hard thing rule, because we are human. We want to do the things that we are comfortable with, that we are good at, that it shows the best side of us when it becomes a difficult thing. I know, like Kenyans who are not accountants, when we were doing our KRA returns, they waited until the 29th of June, but it needed to be done. So by the 30th midnight, they had done their returns. For an accountant, it may be the easiest thing. But for the rest of us, whatever it is that we don't like in numbers came to the fore when we had to do our returns, but we did it in the end. So just be knowing that hard thing, you still have to do it. Yes, you still have to. So choose to enjoy doing it. Get used to bringing it to the fore. Do it. And then you will find it is no longer a hard thing for you. It is learned now. It is something that becomes second nature for you and you move on with it. Well, then there was the prime enthusiasm. How important is it, guys? How important is it for you? Because that is important, then you will apply enough time and resources to it. So I'm loving that one, prime enthusiasm. Block time. Block time. Now, what happens? We get carried away with things in life. And she showed us her phone. So we get carried away by other people's agenda. It is so easy to get carried away by other people's agenda when you don't have your own and your own is not compelling enough. It's as simple as that. So why are you on your phone reading about Lucy doing this? Why are you on your phone? Because your why is not compelling enough. So vision is key, and that is where Lillian started. That is where Lillian is started. So block time to do what is good for you. Learn how to say no so that you can say yes to yourself and to your plan. Lillian, I'm loving that one of blocking time. Enlist a team. Now, that is where my challenge comes. Enlisting a team means I've got to get used to delegation. I've got to get used to communication. I've got to, did you see? For you, Lillian, those were your core values. Once a collaboration was right there. You know, for you, collaboration was there as a thing for you. So how many of us are challenged in the typical female way of I can do everything? You want to do everything. And you say, I'm a woman, I can multitask. So I can do it. Well, good for you that you can, but there's somebody else somewhere who would have benefited from you if you handled less things and allowed them to learn and to grow and help build one another. So we are grateful that you know how to do everything. Then teach other people. Like what Lillian is saying, bring in the collaboration. That one for me is work in progress, Lillian. Yeah, and list a team. And those were the 5 areas, Lillian. Thank you so much. And it's good to see Agnes Mo here, who has joined us. Karibu sana. Agnes, what is the one hard thing for you? That thing that you wait until 11th hour to do. Moving on, you talked about we need to nurture this grit. So now that it is a natural thing in us, now that we have learned it in case it is not natural, in both cases, we need to nurture. Now, as we are nurturing comes my limiting beliefs, Lillian. I really want us to have this as before we do our parting shots. When it comes to limiting beliefs, this is that voice in your head. Now, as a life coach, I've told you about my imposter syndrome. Every time I try to transcend to the next level, Lillian, and I am work in progress, there's these voices that come in and tell me, for instance, you don't have enough content. You will start talking, and then what happens? It's going to dry out. There are other people, Lucy, who are more qualified than you and have got years under their belt. What are you talking to? Why will people listen to you? Why you? So what about your life experiences? Who cares? Now, if I listen to all these words that are going through between my ears, I will never move on. So you are very right when you say that enemy is between my ears, because that is where my mindset resides. I can choose to have an abundance mindset or a scarcity mindset. I look at the same challenge and I choose to use it as a step to become better, as opposed to a blockage. Hey, sasa we can't do this. In our wenyewe, like we say in Kiswahili, it has its own people. It is not Lucy who should be doing this. So limiting beliefs, Lillian. And I'm asking you now directly, when you are working on your foundation, what one limiting belief did you come across and how did you overcome it?
Thank you, Lucy. I think I'll just share with the ladies in terms of, that's a very personal question, but I owe you an answer. To me, limiting beliefs, Lucy, is that...
My apologies, Lillian.
No, not at all. We are here to share. Lucy, first and foremost, I want to appreciate the fact that you're even able to open to us by just telling us that you are still work in progress. All of us, we are work in progress, Lucy. And what I tell you is the fact that you're able to talk about it and you're able to still continue with your show, you're in the right progress. You're on the right track. Sorry, you're on the right track. That is one. Two, if I talk about myself, I also go through that. All of us, by the way, successful, even the first ladies and all that, we are all human beings. Only difference, Lucy and ladies, is that most of us, we will either dwell on that process of thinking of how we are not good enough, how the task is going to be such a mountain. So in the process, you focusing on that negativity, you become so frozen, you become so stuck, you will never move. And that's what differentiates Lucy, myself, and others, because we are able to say, okay, fine, Lillian, it's going to be a big task. This is a whole foundation. You do not have what it takes. You only have this much. So the moment I have that conversation with myself, you tell yourself, okay, enough of that negativity. We are putting a stop to it. We have this positive side of just saying, you have this, I have this. You start looking at all the positive that you have, positives. And most of the time, ladies, we have more positives than negatives.
Yes.
But because our brains are so wired to an extent, the moment you think of negativity, we get frozen. You will never get started. So back to Lucy's question. How did I just get moving, like, get into it, dive into it and just do it? It wasn't an easy one, but being a gritty person, what happened was one day I just said to myself, I don't like this procrastination, so I'm going to do this. And the moment I wanted to put everything together, from the team together, you want to put finances together, you want to identify the beneficiaries together. Ladies, you cannot have all those 5s or the 6 collected in one box. It will never go on. You will never progress. The only thing you need to do is just make sure you are moving, the rest will come in. Because I was not going to get beneficiaries and I'm not yet fulfilled. So I was lying to myself. I was not going to have all the finances because honestly, I only had that much at that time. What I want to say is one day I just woke up and I remember this, I think I'm traveling on Friday after work. Then he tells me, you're leaving, as in for that, whatever, because he knew what I was planning. And to me, that time, I'm talking of Friday and it's like 2 days apart. I've not identified where I'm going, but they have no clue. I know it's application, yes, but I've not even identified the team. You remember what I said about the team, enlisting your team, the support system? I do not have any support system, but I know when I land in that location, the support system will just show up. I've done it in a certain slum here near Karen. What I did was you just walk in. I didn't know the chairman of that estate. I had no clue, but I know there was a slum somewhere and I'd seen it. I said, you know what? What's the worst that can happen, Lucy? So let me buy this product. I was taking to them, that particular slum, and it's back to the foundation, the same story. And I think that small slum experience gave me to move to the foundation, the bigger part.
Listen to that. And Lillian, I'm just going to interrupt there because we're already up with the hour. What I needed to hear were those salient points. Did you hear she just started? She just went ahead. She did not wait for all the ducks to be in a row. So wherever it is you are today, you don't have to have all the ducks in a row. Lillian, I'm sorry that I'd have to interrupt you on that. If you could continue the conversation on our chat, we literally have 2 minutes to go. If you could give us some takeaways. Some takeaways that we can already hit the ground running with.
Ladies, I'll just tell you that you have what it takes. Believe in yourself. You are more than you can imagine, ladies. All of us. No one is greater than the other one. We are all having the same platform. What we need to do is just make sure that you don't have the enemy in your mind. And the enemy is just you, by the way. There's no other enemy. Lucy cannot be your enemy. Your neighbor can never be your enemy. Your family can never be your enemy, by the way, because it's your choice. The moment you try and block everybody else and it's you, then you succeed, ladies. Believe in yourself. Secondly, is start with whatever you have in whatever manner. Perfection is the enemy of progress.
Wow.
Don't wait for perfection, ladies. I told you, I went to certain location. It's 700 kilometers from Nairobi. I didn't want to know whether I have a team that is going to receive me, but I was so convinced that I am bringing hope to them and therefore I'll get a team there. and I got a team beyond a team, ladies. So start with whatever you have. Don't wait for everything to be so clear, so well packed up, because you'll never start. You'll never have the 5 items together. You will never have the 6 together. Start with whatever you have. Perfection is the enemy of progress, Lucy. Believe in yourself, ladies. You have what it takes. The third one is, do not allow yourself to be your number one enemy. Be your number one fan. Thank you, ladies. Nice having you.
Thank you, Lillian. Thank you. And there you have it,
Thank
guys.
you.
There you have it. Start from where you are right now and let it snowball. The question is, can you sustain your purpose? And there we have heard it. It's a resounding yes. And today we used grit. So whatever grit is for you, can you find what it is for you? Is it resilience for you? Is it optimism for you? Is it determination? Find it, work it, know the thing that you love, because somebody somewhere is going to benefit from that gift. Well, that is our first session. Coming next week, we are going to be looking at the different limiting beliefs that could be able to stop you, to choke you, to basically to make you not be able to move forward in life. And I want you to know that you're not alone. You're not alone. So join me. I'm going to be on IG Live next Tuesday, and I'm going to be taking you through the first series of 3 this month so that we can finish off the month strong. We're not starting strong. We are finishing strong. We are starting with what we have. And today we started with Lillian. What an amazing speaker. And Lillian, I have said thank you to you enough times. We'll be chatting after this for sure. So guys, remember, we've got an Earth the Creator in You. It is a free masterclass, and I'm offering 10 spaces. All you have to do is tag me, hashtag Tuesday Talks at 3, and the seat is yours. It's 21st, 22nd, 23rd of July, 6 o'clock to 7:30 in the evening. And then we've got the Core Values Masterclass, which happens quarterly. We don't have it this month. We'll be having it next month. Just check out my social media pages, platforms, and you will be able to get the information. So let us continue to help building one another in whatever small way that you can, just like the hummingbird. Collect your water and come and put out the fire by providing a solution. Do this for women, and let's have this transformation. Remember to like my page, join my Facebook. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube and hit the notification button. Until next week, ladies, be kind to yourself. Bye-bye now.
Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you, Lillian. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.